Hello, and welcome to Mizzou Made Impact of Saving Over Time, presented by Mizzou's Office for Financial Success. I'm Dr. Jim Green, the Director of the Office for Financial Success. For the next few minutes, we are going to learn how taking a few small steps will change your financial well-being. There's no way I can completely explain all of the information related to personal financial planning in a half-hour presentation. So, if you remember nothing else from this presentation, please remember you can come by OFS and talk more about what we covered here. The Office for Financial Success, or OFS, is a free and confidential financial coaching service for all students at Mizzou. We provide peer-to-peer financial coaching to help you achieve financial well-being. Our services include coaching on just about any financial management issue other than getting money for school, which is done through financial aid, or your school bills, which is done through cashiers. We are open most academic days from 9:30 to 5 p.m. and 9:30 to 3 p.m. on Fridays. We accept walk-ins but prefer you make an appointment using MU Connect. If you search for Financial Success, our service will come up. This is also true for Mizzou 1. We are located in room 162 of Stanley Hall, and our website is financialsuccess.missouri.edu. OFS is in Stanley Hall, which is part of the Memorial Mall near the Memorial Student Union. Most students know where Starbucks is, so we're about 200 yards away. This lesson, Impact of Saving Over Time, is the second of 4 financial lessons that work together in the Mizzou Made program. Saving over time using compound interest is the magic for financial well-being. But you need goals to motivate you while you take the small, seemingly insignificant steps of saving. Albert Einstein said, "Compounding interest is the most powerful force in the universe." So we will discuss what compound interest is and how to get it in detail. Lastly, we'll discuss a few types of accounts available to you to manage your saving or investing. Before you start saving, you should have an idea of what you are saving for and how you are going to get there. It doesn't make sense to save just for saving's sake, though saving for retirement is a great open-ended savings goal. Plus, you need to figure out how much you need to save and how you can afford it. We discussed the mechanics of saving when we discussed budgeting in the Assessing Your Finances lesson. If you missed that lesson, check with your Mizzou Made coordinator on how to review that lesson. The first savings goal is to create an emergency fund. An emergency fund is money set aside for unplanned or surprise expenses. The amount of your emergency fund should be 3 to 6 months of your living expenses. In college, if your living expenses are covered by scholarship or grants, then aim to get $1,000 in an account. Then don't touch it unless you have an unforeseen expense. Your next savings goal should be the amount you need for known expenses happening in your near future. For example, if you live in an apartment off campus, you know there is a deposit due before school starts in the fall. You also know about birthday and holiday gifts you have to buy. How about tire replacement for your car? New tires is not an unforeseen expense. Tires wear out. The last set of goals are all of the things you want to buy. Maybe you want to go on a spring break vacation in a few months, or get a new laptop in a couple of years. Don't forget the long-term goals like retirement. For all of your goals, make them SMART goals. Make them specific. I want to be rich is not a specific goal. I want to buy a 7 Series BMW is specific. You want to be able to identify the dollar amount of the goal so it is measurable. You can dream, but you have to be realistic. Think in terms of what makes you happy versus what impresses your neighbors. These are financial goals, so relevance is implied. Being the best player on your team is a great goal, but not relevant to financial goals. T stands for time bound. You have to have the time associated with the expense so you can calculate the small saving steps to get you to the goal. Now that you have some financial goals, let's talk about the magic to get you there. Simply put, saving with compound interest is how your money makes money. Luckily, almost all savings accounts today use compounding interest. Here's former NFL fullback Jed Collins to tell us about small steps and the power of compound interest. Following Jed is a more detailed video on compound interest.
I was able to take many lessons away from the game of football and translate them into the world of finances. None more important than the idea of stealing inches.
I got to work next to a 15-year veteran, a linebacker. And out on the field, this is where I noticed it first, was out on the field, he would go and we'd run 40 yards, he'd run 45. We'd run 50, he'd run 55. In the weight room, we'd go do a set of 225, he'd slide on 2.5s and do a set of 230. And finally, one day I just asked him, I was like, hey man, what's the deal? Like 5 pounds, what is 5 pounds ever gonna do for you? And he said, look around. Everyone in here is younger, cheaper, healthier than me. Everyone in here is here to take my job. The only reason I'm still here is because I come in and I steal this. I steal an inch each and every day because an inch leads to a yard to a first down to a touchdown to a win, and wins get you to an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl. And that was his most. That was what everything was driving towards.
So I began to look at it. How do I translate inches into my money? Well, maybe it was while I was out at dinner. Did I get a drink or did I just get a side of water? Saving that inch. But the most important way I translated football to finance with this inch philosophy is through the 8th wonder of the world. Albert Einstein deemed the 8th wonder of the world compound interest. Why that is because it's an aggregation of inches, aggregation of small victories that each day you cannot win the Super Bowl. You can't even get a win, but each day you can steal an inch and make it go to work for you. And each inch, each dollar that you employ and tell to go work for you, they go out and create their own employees. The power of compound interest are inches adding up to more inches.
If you can steal inches in your money, if you can steal inches in your career, you will separate yourself from everyone.
Some strategies for saving money are wiser than others. People keep money in commercial banks, savings and loans, and credit unions because the funds are insured against loss. More importantly, these financial institutions offer interest. Interest is money that a bank, for example, pays you, the saver, in exchange for keeping your money there. 2 types of interest are simple and compound. Let's look at an example of simple interest. If today you put $100 in a savings account that pays 5% simple interest annually, in 1 year you'd have $105. The $100 that you originally put in is called the principal. The extra $5 is the interest earned. Suppose you leave that $100 principal in the savings account. The next year you would earn another $5 and have a total of $110 in the account. Every year the bank would pay you 5% of your $100. Compound interest builds up differently than simple interest. It's earned not only on the principal, but also on the interest earned in prior periods. Let's take your $100 principal from the previous example. Remember that you're earning 5% interest, so the first year you'll earn $5. In the second year, you'll earn 5% of $105, which increases your earnings by $5.25. And in the third year, you guessed it, 5% of $110.25, which increases your account by another $5.51. If you keep your money in this account, you'll continue to earn interest on the original principal plus the interest earned in earlier periods. Now, take a look at how your account balance would change over 30 years with the power of compound interest. The red line represents your account balance if you earned interest only on your principal. That's simple interest. And the blue line represents your account balance earning compound interest. Over time, the difference is substantial. Clearly, compound interest gives you more earning power than simple interest. And the earlier in life you begin to invest, the better. Your savings need as much time as possible to grow. Let's look at another example to see just how much money could be saved over time with compound interest. On his 30th birthday, your friend Joe opened a savings account with $250. The bank offered 5% interest compounded every month. Joe then deposited $250 every month after that. With 5% compounded on the $250 principal, he earned an extra $82.50 in interest by his 31st birthday. As this graph illustrates, Joe's principal balance will grow at a steady pace over time. If Joe continues the $250 deposits every month until age 65, he'll have about $285,000 when he retires. Now just imagine how much Joe would be saving if he'd opened this account when he was 6 years younger. He'd have another $120,000 to retire on. That's the effect of compound interest. Now what if the interest rate on Joe's money had been 9%? He'd have nearly $1.3 million for his retirement. That's close to $900,000 more. The moral of the story? Save early and look for higher interest rates. Earning interest is a key reason people save money. The higher the interest rate, the more money people earn. How do savers earn a higher return on their money? Well, a bank is only one option. And while a bank is very safe, the interest rate is relatively low. By putting your savings into stocks or mutual funds, savers can earn a higher return. However, stocks or mutual funds are riskier, so the saver needs to decide if the risk is worth the extra return. When it comes to saving, think about your goals along with your expected income, expenses, and spending habits. And get as much information as possible about simple and compound interest before making decisions about where to save or invest your money.
I want to emphasize that with compounding interest, the concept of time is still the most important part of the math. Let's look at an example of three people, Susan, Bill, and Chris, who were triplets born on the same day. These calculations are based on an 8% interest rate, though the specifics are not as important as understanding the concept of early investing. Susan starts with investing $5,000 each year starting at age 25 and stops at age 35. Her total invested is $50,000. At age 65, she has $602,070. Her investment profile is the gray dashed line. Bill doesn't start until age 35, but he invests the same $5,000 a year. However, unlike Susan, Bill continues to invest every year until age 65, represented by the green line at the bottom. A total of $150,000 invested compared to Susan's $50,000. Yet Bill's total at 65 is $540,741, about $61,000 less than Susan. This shows that starting as soon as possible is as important as how much you invest or the amount of interest you earn. Chris, the smartest of the triplets, starts investing at age 25 like Susan, but doesn't stop after 10 years. He continues to invest the same $5,000 a year until age 65, represented by the blue line. In total, he invests $200,000 or $50,000 more than Bill. But at 65, Chris has $1,142,811. This is more than double of his brother Bill and $500,000 more than his sister Susan. Bottom line, don't be Bill. Be Chris or Susan. Start saving now. Even a little savings helps. Make it part of your life. There are many account types that can help you with your savings and investing. I'll only cover the main types in this lesson. If you want to discuss account types and how to use them in more detail, come see us in OFS. Normally, we use bank accounts for savings and managing day-to-day finances. Investment management company accounts are used for more formal investing. A checking account at a bank or credit union is used to hold money that you will make frequent transactions from. This is an account where you keep your spending money. You normally withdraw money from your checking account using your debit card, though you can also get cash from a teller or an ATM. You could also, assuming you could find one, utilize a paper check. You may also have automatic withdrawals from checking to pay certain debts like credit cards or other loans and expenses. Though some checking accounts will pay interest, in general, you don't use this type of account to make money. Most people also have a savings account along with their checking account. A savings account is where you put money you don't need immediate access. Many savings accounts limit you to 6 or less withdrawals in a month. As the name implies, a savings account is where you put your savings for your financial goals. Since you are giving the bank the use of money for a presumed longer period, the bank will pay you interest, compound interest. Most banks and credit unions offer an additional savings vehicle called a certificate of deposit, or CD. A CD is nothing more than a savings account where instead of you promising to only make 6 or less withdrawals in a month, you promise not to withdraw the money prior to the stated expiration date, usually 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, etc. If you do withdraw the money before expiration, you may have to pay a penalty to the bank. Since you promise not to withdraw the money from a CD for a longer period of time, the bank gets the option of using the money for its own investments. As a result, the bank can offer you a larger interest rate than a savings account. Investment management companies offer investment accounts. Though they can act similar to bank accounts, they offer many more investment opportunities. In investment accounts, you can invest in mutual funds and individual stocks and bonds and other market investment securities. Normally, you should only use investment accounts for investing money for long period goals, those greater than 5 years away, like retirement. Again, if you are interested in learning more about investing, please come by OFS and talk with a peer financial coach. There was a lot of information covered in this presentation and a lot I couldn't include. As I said before, there's plenty of free help for you and ways you can get more information. Please come see us in OFS about any financial management questions you have. Make an appointment using MU Connect or walk in if you are near Stanley Hall. If you want a class, Financial Planning 2183 Personal and Family Finance is a 3-credit-hour class taught face-to-face or online. Look for FINPLN 2183. If you want a 1-credit-hour self-paced online course, we have 2. Financial Planning 1183 Financial Survival and Financial Planning 4483 Financial Success. Look for FINPLN 1183 and 4483. I hope you enjoyed this presentation and got some useful information. At OFS, we look forward to helping you succeed in college and life. We want to be part of your financial success. This video will now end and your presenter will be happy to answer your questions.